Hello and welcome to Business Today Television. I'm Siddharth Zarabi and joining us now is Dr. Praveer Sinha, the CEO and Managing Director of Tata Power. Welcome to the show, Dr. Sinha. Uh, let's begin by getting you to expand on the most recent quarterly performance as well as the highlights of the full year for Tata Power.
Thank you, Siddharth, for having me on your show. Such a pleasure to be here. Uh, Quarter 4 performance has been very consistent and good. This is the 22nd consecutive quarter in which we have shown growth in PAT. And what I would like to say is that this PAT and this performance is backed on our core businesses. All our existing operations, that is our generation business, transmission distribution, and renewable have done exceedingly well. Some of the new areas that we had gone into, especially it was in our Odisha discoms, have done exceedingly well in the last quarter. And that's the consistent performance that we will expect from Odisha going forward because many of the legacy issues have been sorted out, and hopefully you will see the impact of all this in the coming financial year. Similarly, for our renewable business, two areas have done exceedingly well. One is on the manufacturing, where we find that our plant for cell and module has stabilized. The performance in Q4 has been reflected, and that will be the template for the future quarters, where both cell and module will work at full capacity, better yields, better efficiencies. Uh, Also, our rooftop business, where we are now getting very aggressively to work with the PM Surya Ghar program and take it to the various states. You will start seeing very good results going forward because that's great opportunity which is there to reach out to people both in urban and rural areas and thereby provide them rooftop solar solutions. So I think what gives us immense comfort is that a very strong foundation of the company is there in core businesses, and these will start giving full impact in the coming financial year.
Mr. Sinha, if you were to talk about margin improvement, can you take us through your understanding of that for the quarter under review?
So, as I mentioned to you, our business margins have improved because of Odisha Discom, where since the legacy issues are gone and the performance of the company has improved, that is one of the big impact on the overall margin improvement. The second is the manufacturing, where again we saw that in the last quarter our cell line and module line performed at full capacity, and going forward that will continue to be there. So these are going to stay. So this margin improvement is not a one-off, but it will continue in future and will possibly only improve going forward. The third is the rooftop business, where again in the last quarter we have done exceedingly well, and that will be the trend going forward. So I think many of these things that we have done will become the new benchmark for performance going forward. Also, some of the newer things that we will be doing in this year, like our transmission projects, four of them out of six will get commissioned. We will also see that our ability to execute utility scale projects will get further enhanced because we've now got the land and the power evacuation arrangements tied up. So I think going forward, the consistent performance that we have been doing and the improvements that we have been bringing about, the full impact of that will be seen in FY26.
FY25 was also a year where you had planned to invest 20,000 crore. How much of that has been deployed and what are your plans for this year? Are you expecting to retain a similar sort of capex spend trajectory?
So in the FY25, we had planned 20,000. We've actually spent 16,200 crores. Some of the projects which got deferred because of the evacuation arrangement or land for the ROW, those will get implemented in the first quarter. Also, this year we have a target of 25,000 crore of investment, and these investments will happen in our hydro projects, which we are setting up one project in Bhutan and one in India, which is a pumped hydro project. It will also be used for taking care of our transmission projects and our existing distribution projects, which are going on in Delhi, Mumbai, and in Odisha. It will also be used in the transmission projects that I mentioned, that four will get commissioned and the other two will get commissioned in FY27. It will get used in our renewable projects. So I think there are a whole lot of investment plans that we have for the whole year. And the so-called 25,000 crore that we have planned for investment, it will all get utilized in this financial year.
I want to turn our conversation towards the clean energy portfolio. It's been expanding steadily. I just wanted to understand how much of the portfolio is operational, how much of it remains to be deployed and is under construction.
So 44% of our total installed capacity today is renewable, is clean energy, which includes hydro, off gases, and solar and wind projects. We will become 70% by 2030. And as I mentioned to you, we have 5.5 gigawatt of renewable projects, solar and wind. We have nearly 4 gigawatt of our hydro projects and pumped hydro projects. So we have virtually 9.9 gigawatt of projects which are under implementation, and all these will get completed before 2030. So 2030 will become 70%, and of course, we have plans to become net zero by 2045.
Net zero by 2045. How many new charging stations have you added, and could you also share the number of cities that you have expanded this operation in?
So our charging stations basically are into three categories. One is the home charging, which is nearly 120,000 home chargers that we have put. We have public chargers, which is about 5,800. And we have the chargers for bus depots, and also many of the people who are doing bulk charging facilities that they are carrying out. So in each of these categories, we are number one. Our chargers are also on highways where people, when they travel from one city to another, they have the opportunity to charge the vehicles, and to that extent, we are virtually right across the country in most of the highways. And our plan is that how do we make available not only chargers but also the experience of charging very, very seamless. And the customer service that is being provided is absolutely unique, and it is a pleasure for our consumers, especially the automobile owners, to use these chargers and use it in the way that they would like to use it. Them.
Business Today had covered the possibility of a significant ramp up in India's nuclear power ambitions consequent to recent policy changes and initiatives and intentions of various groups, including yours. I wonder if you can talk to our viewers about nuclear power and where do you stand on that journey?
So now in nuclear power, there are two changes which is expected in the law. One is the Atomic Energy Act, which will allow private sector to invest in nuclear power plants. The second is the Civil Liability Act, which also needs a change so that there is not too much of burden on the supplier of technology or equipment and the developers. And I think the government is taking steps to modify them. And hopefully, we expect that in the monsoon session of Parliament, these may get modified. Thereafter, we need to start working on what sort of technology tie-up, what sort of fuel tie-up, what sort of tie-up for giving the disposal of spent fuel. and also in terms of where they have to be set up in terms of land and the various clearances and approvals which are required. So we are working in all these areas. We are connected to various state governments to identify locations which are safe locations for these type of nuclear plants, water availability, and land availability. And I think Tata Power will be one of the first movers in the nuclear space.
Dr. Sinha, as we wind down this conversation, just a comment from you, because you are absolutely right in explaining the long-term nature of nuclear power. It's not going to happen tomorrow. But how sizable is this opportunity likely to be at the industry level, and what are your initial sort of estimates about how significant it would be for your overall product portfolio mix as well?
I think nuclear will be a very, very important component of the energy transition. And this is firm power. This is also affordable power, unlike very many other areas where, especially in terms of brown power, where it is expensive and it cost keeps on going rapidly every year. And so to that extent, it will be a good replacement for the existing coal-based plants over a period of time. Uh, Government has an ambitious target of 100 units of nuclear power plants, SMRs, by 2047. I think it is definitely achievable, and you will find that it will not only be used for the utility scale, but it will also be used by C&I customers, where any hard to abate industry or any industry you can provide these small modular reactors, even much smaller micro reactors. And once they are safe and they are modular in design, the speed at which they can be set up will be much faster.
Just a quick follow-up. Have you had any conversations with anyone overseas, people who are already in this space, either from a knowledge or technology perspective?
Yeah, we are in constant touch with all existing players, as well as there are many other companies who are coming into this area. And we do believe that we'll engage with many of them once we have better clarity on the law changes and the enabling rules that will come thereafter.
Absolutely. You are absolutely right that the onus to get this whole plan of the government of India, as you stated, by 2047, 100 separate units, will require quick moves on the policy front to provide clarity to industry. Dr. Sinha, thank you very much for your time, for joining us and taking us through some key highlights as well as talking about future initiatives. Viewers, that was Tata Power talking to us. We'll slip into a short break. When we come back, we'll continue our coverage on the other side. Do stay tuned.
Well, Tata Motors had their earnings yesterday, and we have a very special guest with us, Mr. P.B. Balaji, the CFO at Tata Motors. Thank you so much, sir, for joining.